Hey, how's it going? My name is Vashthalas, if you didn't already know. Thanks for tuning in. Today is the Day 5 update of my Lightning, Shuriken, Falconer. We use Critical Strike and stacking ailments in order to further accentuate our damage. And I am currently level 84. I just reached... Oop, that's the wrong button. I just reached the Age of Winter. I'm not high enough level, I think. Well, we're about to start going in there once I start stream after I post this video, but I'm pressing the wrong button constantly whenever I'm trying to go through this user interface. I'm sorry. But, yeah. So, level 84. We're in the Reign of Dragons / Age of Winter. Having a lot of fun with the build. It's going great, if you ask me. For the skills, the only thing that has changed is that I don't really think aerodynamic and additional attack speed is the best way to scale it anymore. Aerodynamic doesn't work the way that I thought. It will make the shurikens faster, but it'll also make the skill a little bit more inconsistent. And it does not increase the radius of our blade shield, so they'll still stay just as tight to our character despite full investment into aerodynamic. As a result, I would recommend spending those points into jagged edges instead. And if you weren't paying attention prior, charged steel, flip of a coin, blade shield, entry points. Those are our top priorities. You can leave ethereal blades at 75% chance to pierce so that you can pick up more damage for single target, or you could max it out, improve your map clearing capabilities. I'm not confident in decoy. You can swap this for Cinder Strike, or you can swap it for anything else that you find useful, like an additional Falcon ability, maybe net for some like additional Lightning Shred options or AoE options, Explosive Trap. Nothing really feels like it fits, but decoy is certainly a defensive option. I just want to make you aware that it's not really ever being used. Like, I'm almost always just pressing aerial assault from my Falcon and then smoke bomb, shifting away and spamming my shurikens, so decoy never really has an opportunity yet to find its usefulness between those cooldown windows. That's it for the ability update. For the passives, I took out the points from sapping strikes. It didn't really feel all that useful, and I reinvested them towards Swift Assassin because that gives us flat physical damage. Dodge and parry is the same, Guile is the same. I don't think Steady Hand is as high priority as I was thinking before, but it is additional health. If you're like a hardcore player, you probably actually do want Steady Hand instead of Swift Assassin. But I'm not. I'm a softcore player, so I want more damage, please. Marksman is the exact same as I discussed before. 5 points into Focus Fire, and then 5 points into Missile Mastery for that Armor Shred chance. And I would leave it at that. You don't really care about anything else, and I wouldn't put 5 additional points into Missile Mastery because there's better things over here in Blade Dancer and the Falconer Mastery. So for the Falconer Mastery, everything is the same except we've started putting points into Peltist and Avian Hurl. So we're basically prioritizing defenses very heavily in this tree. Anything that gives us percentage increased dodge rating, very high priority. We only put 1 point into Coordinated Fade, so that whenever we're pressing Shift, we get that Silver Shroud stacks. I think it gives us 3. Yep, 3 stacks of Silver Shroud. Do not put 5 points into Deflect and Weave. We want block and Glancing Blow chance. We want both. That's the way I look at it. I would much prefer as many defensive layers as I can get, because I still don't really fully understand this game. And maybe we'll convert over to block chance. Maybe we'll convert fully over to Glancing Blow chance at some point. But right now, I would leave it at 4 out of 5 for Deflect and Weave. Raptor's Wings is very high priority. I would max this whenever you feel like you've got the defenses sorted out with your passive points. The reason why is that it gives us haste, so that we don't have to use that chess piece I was talking about in the concept video, Kestrel. We don't want to use Kestrel as it's not really useful besides giving us that haste. And it also makes us deal more damage with our haste. Super valuable. Max out Avian Hurl whenever you can. Peltist is a good reinvestment of points whenever you have put 8 points into Cloak of Shadows. I would recommend 8 points into Cloak of Shadows, and then as many as you can into Peltist as your final cherry on top of the builds. And I think that does it for the passive points. Not too many changes. Now I would like to go over the gear changes for the weapon. I picked up this dagger. It's an obsidian dagger. I have it imprinted, so I'm trying to find more obsidian daggers because of that implicit 4% increased critical strike chance, and then just general physical increased damage. This is the best base I've found so far. I'm sure there's probably a better one, but I haven't bothered to look through every single base type of the game yet. I'm sorry. And yeah, I like this because I found it as an exalted item with physical damage, critical strike multiplier, and armor shred. We added the stun and blind chance. Stun is a better ailment than I think people may be giving it credit for. I feel like I'm stun locking bosses between freeze and stun chance. So we only have a very small amount of stun chance, but it's happening constantly due to how many times we're hitting. The new helmet, it has +1 to falconry now. A lower amount of cold resistance, so I had to balance that out in another way. But found it as an exalted item. We're planning on sealing the falconry once I find a shard that lets me do that. And if it doesn't take up too much forging potential, I only have like 15 forging potential left. I'll try and add on a small modifier of whatever I have available. Stop! I realized I forgot to talk to you guys about one of the most important items that I changed, and that would be the chest piece. We changed it over to Mantle of the Pale Ox. The implicits are both very much appreciated. 74 armor, increased healing effectiveness, very nice. The damage redirected to your highest health minion is what we're actually interested in this chest piece for, though. Our Falcon is immortal, and I'm pretty sure that this works, because as soon as I put this on, I felt much, much tankier. It's got increased movement speed. The strength, we don't really care too much about that strength. I'm not sure how we're going to benefit from that, but the defensive value of this chest piece is immense, and I plan on taking a Mantle of the Pale Ox with some legendary potential, heading over towards the Temporal Sanctum, and then slamming it together with a chest piece that looks like this. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to get rid of that mana, but if you could, try to find one with an exalted, elevated lightning damage with Shuriken's modifier that also converts it, and have it land on a Mantle of the Pale Ox so that you have huge, huge DPS gain at the same time of your defensive value from this puppy. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I don't have that chest piece yet. I'm currently working on it, but wanted to include you on the plan. There you go. Back to everything else. The amulet, I think I talked about this last time. I'm not sure, but Bone Amulet, it's got good physical and necrotic resistance as implicits. And then it's got lightning damage, lightning penetration, physical resistance, which is what I need for that item slot currently. And then armor shred on hit. Everything that I find valuable. The shield is the exact same. Still working on finding a better shield. I want more block effectiveness. I want a higher block chance as an implicit. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words a bit. But not finding it easy to change over that lightning resistance or elemental resistance in any other gear slot. I could probably fit it on the ring. This ring is atrocious besides the throwing attack mana cost reduction. And that might be my easiest option to open up my shield. And yeah, gonna try and get rid of this ring as soon as possible. This belt, physical damage, throwing damage, health, resistances, that's all there is to say about it. Elemental damage, healing effectiveness, movement speed. There's probably a better implicit out there for us at this point, but I was using this ring since the campaign, and whenever I started crafting it, I was using these Glyphs of Hope, and it just kept hitting back to back, and I was like, alright, I guess I'll just keep upgrading it, and now it actually fills out rather nicely. For the gloves, I was talking about some other unique gloves prior, but I would absolutely recommend Lyraka's Claws above anything else for this item slot. +2 to projectiles with shurikens, cannot be argued against. Critical strike multiplier, even more difficult to argue against these gloves when those two modifiers are next to each other. The poison chances, whatever. I mean, we're already stacking ailments, and we don't really do a ton of poison damage or like, yeah, we don't really do much other than lightning damage, to my understanding. So it's just a way to scale our ailments up faster for that 90% damage increase from the skills. I would recommend get one with legendary power so that you can pick and choose which modifiers that you want on it. I got one with Weaver's Will and 4 dexterity, 19% increased throwing attack speed. Wait, no, actually, I'm wrong. This one did have legendary power. I used my old gloves that I was talking in the prior update, and it chose these two modifiers. I was hoping that it would choose the stun chance, but Dexterity and throwing attack speed, that's not necessarily bad. The resistances would have been nice as well. Snowdrift are placeholders for a pair of unique boots that I am excited to start using. I don't have them yet. They're called Razorfall. And the reason why I mainly want them is for the level of throwing skills, as that will affect our Falcon and our Shurikens. But they also have a good possibility of having a maximum of 38% movement speed. So right now our Snowdrift have 10% increased movement as an implicit, and then they have up to 20% movement speed increase depending on how much dexterity you have. I think we have about like 18%. So these are like 28% movement speeds. 38% movement speed would feel way better. I'd feel much closer to that lucky pair of boots that I got during the campaign. I forget the name of them, but yeah, they're just not really super high priority. We're not a ward build. And these boots give us plus to dexterity, which is also a huge bonus. Gives us a little bit of armor, which is certainly not unappreciated. And then the effect of haste on us is really big. We almost always have haste due to how many times we're hitting. 10% chance per hit. And it's almost always up. So the other effects of these boots, the aerial assault burst and the you gain haste, recover 8% of aerial assault's remaining cooldown on throwing hit. These are all useful for us. Maybe not super enticing, but we can make use of them. And I will hopefully find a pair of Razorfall with either Weaver's Will or Legendary Power so I can start messing around with them. The other item I would like to mention to you is the Pillager's Gold. So right now in the game, I am using Tome of the Elements, I'm pretty sure. Yep, Tome of the Elements. And that's because I got Weaver's Will, lightning damage, healing effectiveness, and it has built-in leech and the ability to apply ailments. I highly appreciate that, but Pillager's Gold, it's kind of interesting. It's got built-in leech, which is something, like I said, we need for the relic. Or you just need built-in leech somewhere. It doesn't have to come from the relic, but so far, the more leech, the healthier we are. And this is an additional avenue to explore when thinking that way. Increased leech rate, like I said. Damage to ignited enemies. We are almost always igniting our targets because of just even a small percentage to apply any ailment. It's almost always going to happen. So this is a given. +1 to throwing fire damage with burning daggers. We do have burning daggers available to us. We could increase the damage of them. The question is that good? Maybe not. But it's a visual representation of gaining power, and I always appreciate that. I'm going to feel it out. I'm going to see how this relic feels. I probably need to look through the whole roster of unique items at some point, but I need time to do that. I like finding them as they drop instead of just staring at my browser here, going through them one by one. Though I do have to do that sometimes. At a certain point, I need to just start reading and digesting information. That's it for the plans on the unique item changes. So I guess I should show you what the build looks like right now. Oh, let me go over the Weaver's Tree real quick. This is what it's looking like right now. I maxed out the Nemesis first, and then I'm just trying to get as many imprint options as possible. I don't really care about the Woven Echo imprint, but that's probably because I don't understand the usefulness of different Woven Echoes yet. So I'll probably pick it up, I just don't know what to put in there yet. That's what it's looking like right now. Pick up the imprints so that you can start targeting items. Because I'm solo self-found, I have not done anything with the Circle of Fortune. I am almost at the maximum rank, I feel like, and I still haven't done anything. I told a viewer recently that I would work on the prophecies a little bit today. I don't know what that means, but they said the prophecies can really help me target items as well. So we'll see what that's like. But not for this showcase. I'm just going to show you anything. The Bloodworks, sure. Level 85 area. Currently level 84. Build feels good. Everything feels smooth. We're not immortal. We are fast. Oop, little chunkiness there. I feel like the game can get chunky sometimes. I don't know if it's just from them working on hotfixes and whatnot, server resets. Either my internet is bad, which, I mean, hey, let me just level with you there. My internet is certainly capable of crashing multiple times a day. Or if it's just how many ailments we're stacking and not killing things fast enough. Because, you know, 300 armor shred stacks on one target, a drop in the ocean. 300 armor shred stacks on a screen full of monsters that aren't dead yet. That might cause a couple of problems, I'm willing to bet. Void resistance, pick it up. Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a exile hat with the modifiers that I'd like, which is +3 to shurikens, an exalted, and then we could craft it from there. Because obviously exile hat is way cooler than any of the other options. I mean, sure, I look like Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but there's no feather in this helmet. There's no brim. This hat. It's an inferior hat, even if it does have built-in 1.2% of damage leached as health. Yeah, Pinnacle Helm obviously is extremely useful if you're a hardcore player, if you ask me. If you're a softcore player, probably want that exile hat. Or maybe you want a Pinnacle helmet both ways, because Leech really does shine in this build. Doesn't kill you in one hit, you most likely aren't dying. You just hit far too often, and anything that is hitting us like that is probably right next to us, getting shredded. That's the Echo. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. You guys are all absolutely fantastic. I hope you found this entertaining. Hope you found it informative. I hope you're having a great cycle this time around with Tombs of the Erased. I know I am, and I can't wait to start streaming just a few moments here after I get this video posted. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you liked it, like and subscribe. And I will hopefully see you all next time. Peace out. Have fun.